So here we are in Adobe Premiere 2019, and I'm going to show you today how to bring in media types of different resolutions into the same sequence that is set to a specific resolution. So first off, you can see here that I have created 4 different sequences of different resolution types. This is 6K, this is 4K full frame, 4K widescreen, and then a 2K version. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to drag in these 4 media types that I've imported. They're just images that I've imported in, and they are also of different resolutions. Again, matching the sequences 6K, 4K full frame, 2K, and 4K widescreen. So I'm going to drag these into the timeline. Take a second because some of these are kind of large. And you'll see there that because we're at 6K sequence, as you can see right here, that this 6K sequence image fits right perfectly in the frame. If we jump over to the 4K full frame, it's in there. It's not distorted or anything, but it's also not scaled to fit. So we've got a smaller image. And then if we go down to the widescreen, notice it's just a little bit narrower on each side. That's the difference between full frame and widescreen. And of course you go to the 2K and it gets very small. Same aspect ratio as the UHD, just smaller height and width. So now there's 2 ways you can do this. You can right click. You have scale to frame size and set to frame size. I use the set to frame size because then when you want to go back and scale later to maybe zoom in a certain area, this is a better option to choose. So I choose that, and you notice, bam, goes right to full frame, right to the edges. You do get the black bars on the top and bottom. That's to be expected because you don't want it to distort. So then from there, you can actually go to your next frame and do the same thing. You can right click, set to frame size, it fits. And then you can go to the next, set to frame size, and it fits. So now you have your 2K version, your 4K widescreen, your 4K full frame, and your camera raw, and it's all scaled to fit and looks pretty good. Now you can go back to your full frame and say you want to get rid of those black bars. You could zoom in to get rid of the black bars. And what you could do is start scaling this up to fit and about there, but you do lose a little bit on each side. That is the quick and easy way to go in and select one of your clips, and you right click and you can set the scale automatically that way. But there is a way where you can do this where no matter what you drag in to your sequence timeline, you can have it adjust the scale on the fly as you drag it in. And to do that, you simply go to Edit, Preferences, Media, and when that pops up, we will, there we go, change this setting here, default media scaling to set to frame size. Click OK. Now we're going to take that same content in our 6K sequence and drop it into a different track. And now I didn't have to right click on anything, but if I jump from the 6K version, now you can see that we are on the DCI full frame. It's already scaled. The UHD widescreen already scaled, and then the FHD 2K version. You notice these two have the same aspect ratio, so the black bars stay the same. It's a little bit more on the full frame, and of course our raw. Now we can do the same thing here. We'll go to our DCI sequence, which is a full frame sequence, and we're going to take that same media and drop it in. Takes a second. So now on our raw media, it is cropped on the left and the right. Then when we go to our DCI content, it should fit perfectly, and it does. Without any distortion, it's scaled and fits right to the frame. When we go to our UHD content, it's a little bit narrower than the full frame. This is the widescreen. And then you'll have the same aspect ratio on the 2K, so it's just a little bit less clear, not as much detail on the 2K. We can now go Again, to the UHD, which is the widescreen, we drag our content on, and there's our full frame raw content with the bars on left and right. Here's our DCI widescreen with the bars on the top and the bottom, but still scaled to fit. This one fits perfectly because that's the sequence size. And then, of course, our 1920 is fitting perfectly as well because it's the same aspect ratio of 16:9, as you can see here. And here, 16:9 aspect ratio. And then to our 2K sequence, we can do it one more time. Drag this out to the timeline. There is the raw, then our full frame. This one is our widescreen, should fit right to scale. And same thing with the FHD of our, that's the 2K, and that's our sequence setting. So no difference there. And the only thing is you do lose a little bit on each side when you don't have the full frame. Not much though. And that's how you do it. Depending on your preference, you might want to have that just happen automatically for you when you bring in your different content, say from your DSLR camera or from your GoPro, and then you've got footage coming in from your drone and different image sizes from your drone. Whatever source you use to bring in your content, you can have it scale to fit your sequence automatically. So hopefully this helps, and we'll see you next time.